Probably.
No, I'm the same way. I get like $10 pair of sunglasses, and that's it. There you go. There you go.
Right there, baby.
That's why I was rock like sunglasses on the top of my forehead, sunglasses I'm wearing, sunglasses around the like collar of my shirt.
You ever do one of these?
Oh, there you go. Well, then you can flip them up and they look like Migos. There you go. That's ultra douche.
Thank you.
Ultra douche right there.
Thank you, sir.
It also feels good to care about somebody enough that you enjoy putting them before yourself.
Yeah.
Which you were saying at the beginning of this podcast that you think our generation is very, would you say selfish? Would you say? It's millennial generation?
I think they're somewhat selfish. It's what can I get for me? What can I do for me? How's this going to affect me? You know, and...
do you think that's unfair for elders to label us as narcissistic or selfish because that behavior might be rewarded at this age?
Well, I'd say we just call it like we see it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. You're also the generation that calls yourself the greatest generation.
Yeah. You know, I don't know. There's a lot of great people in every generation.
I just think that's hilarious. It's almost like you guys waited it out. It's like, okay, we're going to wait this out. As soon as we're the oldest, nobody's going to tell us nothing. We're going to call ourselves the greatest generation. Wait for it. The greatest generation.
Well, there's great people in every generation. You know, there's some great, very young people that are great already. You know.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I appreciate that, honestly. Wow. Means a lot. I know.
I just want to be remembered as a good person.
Well,
it is a weird concept, though. Like, we're living in the greatest time, the most affluent, just nicest all around. Like, all our, all our, like, fundamental human needs are kind of, like, taken care of for the most part, right? For most of us, not all of us, but...
No, that's true.
And there's more depression than ever.
I talked about this yesterday, which is why I said it might be a good topic. I didn't ever look up the term, but it's like cultural disease or like something like that. Depression and like anorexia and bulimia, they're very real. Like, I'm not trying to take away from the fact that they're like not, like, that they are real. Like, I know like those are things that actually happen. Like, they're actually really hard on people and like it's difficult to deal with and all that stuff. Absolutely. I'm not trying to take away from that fact before I even start talking. I don't want people to think I'm like, that's not the thing, because it is. But if you go to places like Asia, China, Japan, there's no such thing as depression or anorexia, because people think, I feel like there's like this concept here that if you're not happy all the time, you're depressed. But why would you be happy all the time? Think about it. Like, if you're not jealous, like if you don't feel a need to like want to do better, and like you don't have like that ever, like if you don't ever have like that feeling of like being sad, then you'll never know what happiness is. Like, how could you ever be happy all the time? Because you wouldn't even know what happiness is. So people, like, I feel like here are like, oh, well, if you're not super happy, you're depressed, here's some pills. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not how it works.
We definitely over-medicate.
Yeah. In China, they don't have pills. They're like, yeah, we're sad, but like, we'll be happy in a couple of weeks. Like, it's fine. Like.
Well, what about Japan? Because Japan has one of the highest suicide rates.
Just talked about this with him, too. So Japan, it's been like a long-running thing. I mean, I don't know how it is now, but I know like in the past in Japan, like being proud, like pride is like a big thing there. So like, like having a family that you're like proud of and like is doing well and like in like the society is important. So I know, like, I don't know how many years ago, I know for a long time, like probably at least hundreds of years ago, like it used to be a thing where if you embarrassed your family, you killed yourself to avoid and like bestowing embarrassments like the rest of them, like that kind of situation.
Okay.
So,
do you have any thoughts on vaping?
Well, yes, I do actually. I think it's stupid. I think you're giving yourself pneumonia.
I've never thought about that way.
Like, it's literally putting water vapor in your lungs for no reason. That's what pneumonia is. It's water
Right,
vapor
right.
in your lungs.
I had it when I was younger. It's not fun.
It's not fun at all. You're, like, voluntarily giving yourself pneumonia.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not horrible. It's probably safer than smoking, but it's also probably not safer than smoking.
Yeah,
we don't know.
we're kind
It's
of the
too
guinea
new.
pig generation.
It's too new. There's no way to know any of it. Like, if cigarettes just came out when vaping did, people wouldn't have lung cancer yet.
Right. True.
Like, there's literally you can't study the long-term effects of vaping yet because there's not any. It hasn't been long enough.
True.
So we
True.
don't know. So it could be horrible for us. It could be worse than smoking. We don't know.
Yeah.
But that's my opinion on vaping.
It's not scary. Like we're completely ignorant,
Yeah.
oblivious to what it is, and everybody's doing it.
I think we're the generation to kick smoking, but like with Juuls, dude, how many people do you know that Juul?
Everyone down in
dude.
Missouri
That's
State.
that's how tobacco has like gotten our generation is
True.
Juuls and like the E stuff because, dude, like. It's the same thing. You're addicted. People that were not, they like never dipped in high school, never smoked cigarettes, are now addicted to nicotine because of the Juul.
True.
It's kind of crazy.
It is bizarre.
I'm getting a call, but I'm not.
It's a computer thing.
What do you mean a 911?
The government came up with, we need some kind of 911. We need something so that if you're in trouble, you can go.
So you need they needed the concept of an emergency like speed dial so that people can get quick access to like an emergency vehicle. Okay, so you were the one, or you or somebody that you worked with, your company was the people who came up with the concept of.
They either came up with it or the federal government did, and they told Southwestern. They gave it to Southwestern Bell in St. Louis. Now I don't know if they came up with it. To me, it would be, okay, they were in 5 states, Southwestern Bell was, and I don't think they would come up with 911, and I only have 5 states. So when I look back at it, I'm thinking it must have been nationwide, and the only thing that could be nationwide would be the federal government. But it came to me. I had 8 or 10 people working for me at the time. I was middle management, that's what it was. Then I had these people that thought I was smarter than I was, no big deal. I mean, I was their boss. So they brought it to me and said, okay, we need software. We need somebody to do a 911. And I had some kid working for me that was pretty bright, And I assigned it to him.
So he created the emergency contact of 911.
He worked for me, which means that he was doing the work, but I was responsible for it. And 911.
But overall, he created the 911 phone call.
Yeah.
If you think about it, that's actually really weird to think because it arguably altered the course of history forever because I'm almost positive the reason we were bombed, or the whole reason that 9/11 even happened on the day it happened was because 911, like there was like some symbolism they were going for, 9/11, 911. So like ultimately that could have led to who died on that day, if you really think about it. Is that weird or is that weird? You know what I mean? Like if it was like 811, then it would have been August 11th, and then completely different people would have been in that building, and completely different.
Now that happened in 2001.
That happened in 2001.
And we did that in 1980. So I got to take some medicine.
You're so old. Literally, when I think of my great grandparents on the other side, I think of nothing. When I think of your grandparents, besides like a few stories that you told me here and there, I think of nothing. So it's really cool to me. Maybe I'm just obsessed with immortality. Not really, because everything is temporary in this existence, even planet Earth and the sun, everything. It's all temporary. So I don't think it's that. It's just really cool to me that future generations will be able to
See how silly your grandma was?
just get an idea of what you were like, that's and like what your life was like. Like that's so valuable and just beautiful to me. That's so cool because I feel like a sense of responsibility over the years of like building like a good relationship with you to kind of like live on your legacy, if that even makes sense. Like
It does, but you know what your kids are going to say and your grandkids? Why are you telling me about these old people? I don't know them.
maybe at a young age, but I believe at an older age people get curious, like you did.
Yeah.
You looked up your entire family lineage.
What?
I'm usually a lot more empathetic because I've been in those shoes. Like I know what it feels like. Well, a prevalent example, like when I was younger, like I thought I was stupid until like freshman year of high school, and then I don't know, there's like a pivotal moment in my life, so I know what it feels like to be stupid. So any point in my life now, when I see somebody in a vulnerable position to like be made fun of for being dumb, or maybe somebody who actually is being made fun of for being stupid or something like that, then like I've always been extremely empathetic because I know how it feels to feel that way. And that's a more empathetic approach, but like I feel like the other approach is more like anger. Like you're angry about what happened to you, so therefore you're gonna get even. You're gonna get like good. If you could add 10 unnecessary nipples to any part of your body, where would you add them?
All on my penis because it make the girls feel better.
It'd be like rib.
They're one of those rib condoms. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. So like whenever
else would I put a nipple, Jordan? I mean, what kind of question is that?
Whenever you get erect, they get erect too, right? In theory. Or is it
Sure.
Is that determined?
I don't know.
On, like,
I didn't
the
think that.
temperature
I
of the
didn't
room?
really. My answer was quick. I didn't really think deep about it. You obviously did. You wrote the question.
No, I didn't.
Let me flip this around, Jordan. So you know where I put them. Where would you put your 10 nipples?
I thought the first thing that came to mind is I thought connecting the nipples to the other nipples. Like you have your main nipples, and then
Would you make an arch?
maybe represent St. Louis.
Absolutely.
Maybe.
That's cool. That's that's sick. I love St. Louis. I love
Yeah. I think
That's really your first question. Okay. Well, what else you got?
you might have to put one right between your
No.
none of your face. Yeah, I don't
Oh,
think
you-
I'd want any in my face.
It'd be funny for a day if I kind of take it
Yeah,
off after
true.
a day. Can I move it? Can I move
These
it
are
at
tattoos.
Can I move it at will?
These are nipple tattoos.
I can't move it at will.
Nope.
Yeah. I actually probably wouldn't put it on. I'd probably just put them all on my ass
Yeah, true.
because then nobody would notice it unless
No,
a girl.
they're not sensitive, right? Like, I'm just imagining sitting on this. I'm just repeatedly tapping this.
Well, you ever lay down in a bed? You know, you lay. I lay down when I sleep. I usually lay chest down and like, I lay chest down on one arm.
Okay.
I usually like lay on this one way, but I'm still on my belly, so my nipples don't hurt when I sleep.
Does your arm ever fall asleep?
Yeah,
Then you wake up in the middle of the night and it's just limp.
it's asleep.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, but you deal with it. It's really painful, but you deal with it. No, I'm kidding.
Your arm's like all the haters. They're sleeping on you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All these haters.
All these haters. They're hating on your real fake glasses.
A real thing.